Manchester United hasn't lost to Southampton in their last 15 meetings. Liverpool at Anfield is lethal, but a win against them is catastrophic at Anfield. But when do we get a chance to see Federico Chiesa? Fulham have won their last two meetings against West Ham. Haaland stands tall, being the top scorer of the Premier League this season so far. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode with FC RAMSAY, where we are talking about the match day 4 of the Premier League, the Saturdays and Sundays, which are jam-packed scheduled of the Premier League. Here we are talking about Southampton going against Manchester United, where Manchester United were already classified as winners because they haven't lost to Southampton in their last 15 meetings. See, this was Southampton playing home against United, but the most important thing is that Cristiano Ronaldo has said that you cannot rebuild Manchester United without knowledge. So, whom he is pointing at? The most significant part of this game was that the starting lineup of Ahmad, Fernandes, Rashford, Zirkzee, Mainu, Eriksen. See, Casemiro was dropped. Eric Ten Hag is listening to the views of the fans and he made the change in the team, dropping Casemiro. But why? See, Casemiro is a player where he has played in Real Madrid, but he has always played with the midfield combination of some orchestrating players, some creative players, or some box to box players. If you expect Casemiro to give the passes, to give the through balls, then he is not capable of doing it well. Casemiro is definitely a very well defensive aware player. He is very much strong in the defense part, but you expect him to play in the upfield, in the attacking midfield part, then he is not going to give you that much of play skills or that much of importance in the game. Andre Onana, what a great performance. I think this is man of the match. Andre Onana in this game, he has literally shown some skills that he has developed, and the team must have got enough boost despite Harry Maguire. But Mazarui on the right back and Martinez and Delict. Delict was having a lean game time, a gameplay, and a few matches in the UEFA Nations League as well as in his previous club. He was some kind of looking lack of confidence and he was not having that moral boost. But the aerial duels won, the field tackles won in this match, and a goal in this game, it must have definitely given a huge boost to Matthias de Ligt, and along with Martinez, he performed really well in this game. Diogo Dalot at the left back playing for Manchester United is a bit of worry because United have some injury concerns in this match. Lenny Yoro, the new signing, was injured. Luke Shaw, Malaysia, Lindelof, Mason Mount was injured. Rasmus Holland was injured. So United, despite having a long list of injuries in this game, were the winners and they comfortably put three goals past the nets of Southampton. This was really something amazing skills. I mean, Delict performing, Rashford scoring after such a long time. See, Mason Mount has the most shots on target per match for Manchester United, but he was absent due to the injuries. And United hadn't lost to Southampton in the last 15 meetings. And the main concern of United was their injury as well as just three goals in their past five matches. If talking about Southampton, you say, see, they have scored a average of 4 to 5 goals or maybe 6 goals in the last five matches, but they haven't scored in the last two games they have played. So the overall concern of Southampton under their manager Russell Martin was a bit of concern that how they are going to play. In the first 15 minutes of the gameplay, if you watch, then Southampton were looking possessively very strong against United. But the first 33rd minute where Cameron Archer missed that penalty and that save of Andre Onana. Onana was giving his best in this game, especially in this penalty, which he saved it. And the 2 minutes just passed behind this, Mathis Delight scoring with a header and that assist from Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United got that boost. And again, in the next 5 to 6 minutes, Marcus Rashford scoring his first goal of the season. In the previous season, Rashford had scored just 8 or 9 goals, maybe in 45 matches. I guess the most accurate stats must be 8 goals. But that assist from Amad Diallo, that was excellent. I mean, that build up and that Rashford shot from his right foot into the nets of Southampton. I mean, that was something which was Marcus Rashford was expecting after a huge setback in the previous season. The changes made in the team after the 62 minutes, I mean, Southampton had to make those changes because they were expecting something big to come because they were already 2 goals down in the first half. But Garancho, Ugarte, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, the more defensive line setup which Eric Ten Hag came into the squad, made the squad to build like that, was definitely a boost. But Ugarte making his first appearance after 73rd minutes, his first play on the field in the colors of Manchester United was seen. He was playing defensively. He had a decent game. I mean, there was much expectations, but he just maintained what the coach was asked and what he was being said to do, what was his performance in the field. So all in all, if you say United have just done well in this game, and this is what is expected from United if they want to be seen on the higher ranks of the Premier League table. Despite this, if we talk about the next match, which was between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, see, Liverpool was playing at Anfield. To play against Liverpool at Anfield is lethal. I mean, it is a catastrophic event if you expect an opposition to win against Liverpool at Anfield. The main concern over here is that Arne Slot hasn't made, or the Liverpool management hasn't made significant transfers the past season. The main concern is that the head to head record of Liverpool against Nottingham Forest was Liverpool winning 4 times and Forest winning 1 time. But Nottingham Forest has created the history of winning against Liverpool for a very long time. See, Liverpool had a decent startup with Diogo Jota, Szoboszlai, Luis Diaz, Salah. Salah was not in his best form. He was not performing to his best. But the assist of Szoboszlai, he was missing those cutting chances in the midfield to Szoboszlai. And Diogo Jota was well marked by Milankovic and Murillo. I mean, Nottingham Forest against Liverpool with their manager Santo, what an incredible performance. I mean, the goalkeeper Sells of Nottingham Forest was doing his job so well, but the player right back, Aina of Nottingham Forest, so much praiseworthy. I mean, his performance, his total field coverage, his total presence in the field, his efficiency in attacking as well as in the defense. Especially, he was blocking Luis Diaz many times and he was controlling that McAllister and Diaz movement along with Szoboszlai from the right back positions so well. Yates from Nottingham Forest had a decent performance. Robertson, if you say about Dominguez, Robertson was doing well against him, but some kind of lag in his gameplay has been evident from the past 6 to 7 months in his gameplay. And along with his pairing with Van Dijk and Konate at the back, he is sometimes a bit clumsy. Van Dijk had a decent performance. Konate also did quite well. But the main thing where Arne Slot had a deficit in this game was the first half. Liverpool played extremely well. They played brilliantly according to their game plan. But in the second half, Liverpool players were seen quite frustrated. quite aggressive and they were quite eager to get a goal in their home ground Anfield, because Liverpool were not having that mental tenacity of carrying the match into the next 25 to 30 minutes after the first half. Alison Baker was having a decent stint at the goalkeeping position, but he got a goal passed behind the nets, and that Hudson Odoi goal at the 72 minutes, where West Nottingham Forest were looking quite deep into their attacks, their counter attacks, especially after the substitution of Anderson, Gibbs White, Wood, Dominguez. They brought Hudson Odoi, Anthony Elanga, the first two substitutions. I mean, the pairing of Hudson Odoi along with Elanga was providing those wing attacks converging into the forwards, those long ball counter attacks from Nottingham Forest was quite evident, and Liverpool were seen many a times outnumbered in their own half. See, Neco Williams was the substitution. He came in the 80th minutes, Morato in 81st minutes, Jota Silva in 81 minutes by Santo of Nottingham Forest. This kind of gameplay is quite worth watching for the fans, and the fans really want it. But the performance of Darwin Nunes, Conor Bradley, Gakpo, Tsimikas, Jones. See, Liverpool changed their formation to get a goal after 80th minutes because they were stick to the three defense, and they placed Alexander Arnold at the defensive midfield position, or rather you would say he was present there in the central midfield. Southgate has already been the sufferer of playing Alexander Arnold at the center midfield. You guys go with me or you are against me. I don't need a concern about this because Alexander Arnold is not a player who is that much efficient in playing at the center midfield where the team needs those kind of gameplay, the orchestrating or the creative playmaking movements from him. He is good at his through balls, his passes, his cross, all are. He is good in the air with the ball, but with the assist of the making the orchestrating the game, the playmaking of the game, the build up of the game from the midfield into the wings or into the center forward areas or into the attacking midfield areas. I don't think Alexander Arnold has that possession gameplay in his mind yet now, because once again Gareth Southgate has already suffered. So the gameplay of Arne Slot against Nottingham Forest in the fourth game of the Premier League. Liverpool has already won the first three games. There has been no doubt that Arne Slot is very much in convergence with the gameplay of the Liverpool. But in this game, I saw a tactical fault of Arne Slot, which he was expecting to overcome with the substitutions of Tasamikas in the midfield, but he wasn't seen quite good enough in the gameplay. We were all expecting to see Wataru Endo or Federico Chiesa in the substitutions, but Chiesa, he is having a lack of fitness, and the coach was doubtful for him to have a good play movement, so he wasn't being substituted. And apart from that, Harvey Elliott was also injured. And talking about the next match, if you guys think that Fulham has done well, but let me tell you one thing, that Fulham has never lost to West Ham in their previous two matches, and they have scored 7 goals in their last 5 games. See, Fulham is a team which is under Marco Silva, and West Ham is the team against Lopetegui. West Ham was dominant in the previous season in the Premier League table, but Fulham is that team which is capable enough of defeating West Ham. The main concern was that Carlos Vinicius was injured, and West Ham was having Nicholas Fulker. The signing of this season for them was also injured from the UEFA Nations League. All in all, this was a decent game. Gimenez, he really had a first lead with Fulham. and Traore, along with Iwobi, was playing the wing attacks, which was quite good. But Pereira and Smith Rowe, they were creating those disturbances for West Ham. Looking at the defensive midfield, along with Bassey and Anderson at the centre back, they had a decent performance. But Leno, as the goalkeeper, was not that good enough to give Fulham that shield. And unfortunately, in the 98th minute, Danny Ings, with that substitution from 82nd minutes of the gameplay, he just conceded against Fulham. That was so much well efficient game plan. I mean, Mohamed Kudus, Bowen, Alvarez, Sosek, Antonio, Rodriguez, they were all doing good. But West Ham was looking quite good enough. The man of the match being Traore from Fulham also played his game quite well enough. And the last but not the least, Manchester City against Brentford at the Etihad. I mean, Visa, the fastest goal scorer of this season, in just 1 minute, in just under 1 minute, he scored a goal against Manchester City. And what a fault of the defensive lineup of City was there, because Jones, Akanji, Walker was there, and Guardiola had changed that presence of Rodri, Ruben Diaz in the team along with Josko Guardiola, because the fact is that Manchester City has won 4 games against this Brentford, and Brentford had a win of 2 games against Manchester City. So Manchester City, Guardiola was having a nightmare of not playing those defensive lineups, but he substituted Rodri into the game in the second half, and Lewis and Kovacic were made the substitutions. Josko Guardiola also came into the grounds, but the most important thing about is that Haaland is the top scorer of the Premier League with 9 goals. I mean, he has completed his 100 goals in the Premier League in just 3 seasons. So, what you guys are expecting about Erling Haaland? I mean, this type of gameplay, the first goal which is created in the 19th minute, and the second goal where Ederson Moraes just assisted him. What a great pass that was to Erling Haaland in the 32nd minutes, and he just converted it. Manchester City must not be having those signings, or must not be having that depth in the squad due to the absence of Nathan Ake. He got the injuries in the UEFA Nations League, and Oscar Brob, he has a broken leg. So the substitutions for Manchester City was quite less. I mean, they are not having much reserve bench this season, but then also the presence of Jeremy Doku, Phil Foden can give them those assists. Guardiola was not having Phil Foden that much confidence into the game, so he was not brought into play. But Gundogan, the appearance of his into the Manchester City for this season was quite evident, and he was playing well proficient along with De Bruyne. So here, man of the match being Ederson, his assist to Erling Haaland and his goalkeeping stats, his parrying stats, his catching stats made him the MOM. So this is all about this Premier League. I mean, this total table, which now consists of one more day left, is for the match day 4, where we will see some other teams who are left for their fourth match of this week will come into play. But so far, the numbers game where the Premier League stands quite high. I mean, the teams where they have to perform in their home and away matches to get each number in this point table. So, Manchester City stands tall with 4 games and 4 wins. Liverpool with a loss in 4 games. Arne Slot being defeated at Anfield. I mean, this is crazy, man. This is really crazy. 4 games with 3 wins. They are in the second. Long carries Arsenal at the fifth position. They have one more game, the fourth game, which is due tomorrow. They will play it. Manchester United with 4 games and 2 wins are at the eighth, and Chelsea and West Ham are at the 13th and the 14th position. I mean, Premier League table is taking its turn. What are your views about the Premier League this season? Do tell us, and do give us a like, do share, and do subscribe. Thank you, guys.